Hello, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jabril Jallo. I am the founder and president of Flossie Organization. We're out here to honor the lives of those lost to gun violence, also denounce the violence, and demand that we get a fully funded cure violence site in Canarsie. Just this past Friday, we lost Isaiah Bowman, a resident of Brookline. So we'd like to start the program by honoring his life and his legacy with a moment of silence, along with all those lost in Canarsie to gun violence. Thank you. Give us 1 second, man.
That's straight like that.
We're on the same side.
Stop the bullshit.
Yeah, we wanted to stop. We want to stop too. We're tired too.
Stop. Stop. I gotta fall back because he wanna fucking speak. Now this is my fucking opinion. I've been abused.
Okay.
I've been sexual abused. All right? Now let's get real. Let's talk some serious shit.
Thank you. As you can see, you see the pain is real. You see the pain is real. People are losing loved ones to gun violence. People are dealing with mental health issues. We're not out here talking about esoteric policies. That's real pain you're seeing right there. That's real pain. Isaiah Bowman family is in real pain right now. So this isn't esoteric. Look, we came out here in December of 2021 to denounce the violence and honor the life of Jameer Jones. We came out again after another shooting. Aaron Vincent passed away. We came out again. There was a young brother that lost his life literally across this intersection right here. And that's just past Friday, we lost another young king in Canarsie to gun violence. We don't understand how long and how hard we have to fight to get something other communities have. There's fully funded cure violence programs in East New York, in Brownsville, in East Flatbush. Yeah, if you look at the map, we're left out. We don't know why. So we came out here to get, again today, to yell shame on the mayor, and this is me speaking, shame on the mayor for coming here and announcing gang arrests, because we know we can't arrest our way out of this issue. We need community-centered solutions. We need community-centered solutions. And I hope the media will press on the administration to ask them why we do not have a fully funded cure violence in Canarsie. When I say cure violence, you say now. Cure violence. Now. Cure violence. Now. When I say cure violence, you say now. Cure violence. Now. Cure violence. Now. Thank you. I want to bring up the legendary Black Panther, the man of the movement, Councilmember Charles Barron. Give it up.
Thank you, brother Bill. Stop the violence.
Stop the violence.
Stop the violence.
Stop the violence.
Put the guns down.
Put the guns down.
Put the guns down.
Put the guns down.
Unfortunately for us, when the sun comes out, the guns come out. This is going to be a long, hot summer. While guns create violence on a federal level, we got to stop guns from coming into our community. But guns don't kill people, people kill people. So we have to focus on what creates violence. More violent than guns is poverty. More violent than guns is unemployment. More violent than guns is a lack of mental health services. When you have a $101 billion city budget, a $220 billion state budget, and you have a meager amount of money for mental health, $100 and some odd million for cure violence, none in Canarsie, the council should not pass a budget that doesn't fund cure violence. When you have groups like the NYPD getting $11 $11 billion, not 5.6, $11 billion for 50,000 police officers since January to June, and violence is up 41%. You don't need more police, we need more jobs. No more jails, more jobs. They have $6 billion in this budget to build more jails. We need to tell the mayor and the city council, you can't cut services. In every city agency, services are being cut, especially to schools. The Department of Education, cut. Department of Health, cut. Youth services, cut. And don't be fooled by 100,000 jobs for the summer youth job, because there's over 160,000 young people that apply for them, and 100,000 more that don't even bother applying because they don't get the job. Let's talk real. With that kind of money, we should have a multi-billion-dollar anti-poverty program, a multi-billion-dollar workforce development program. That's not what this budget has. So I know the council is going to pass the Adams family budget. But the Adams family budget will give more to police than to cure violence. The Adams family budget, we have over $10 billion, $10 billion that we could put in to the PAG program, the cuts, and not cut a single agency, because you have $10 billion to stop the bleeding. But that's not what's happening. This council's gonna pass that budget. They're gonna brag that they got $5 million for garbage baskets. We need them, I'm for them. They're gonna brag that we got $10 million here, $8 million there, because the city budget is based upon council initiatives and not the $100 billion. So we came out here to say, yes, we got to stop the violence. Yes, we got to bring it on the street level. We're going to demonstrate all throughout Brookline on Tuesday. And we're going to come back and have more rallies. But we have billions of dollars to stop the violence of poverty, stop the violence of unemployment, and stop the violence of mental health. That's where the money should go, and that's not the priority for this city. Stop the violence! 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 Put the guns down! Put the guns down! Put the guns down! Put the guns down! Pick up a book! Pick up a book! Learn yourself! Learn yourself! Learn knowledge of self! Learn knowledge of self! We must love ourselves! We must love ourselves! Straight ahead.
Give it up, Councilmember Charles Barron. Next, I want to call up the new council member for this area, Councilmember Mercedes Narcisse. Give it up, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. When I'm here as a city council member for the 46th district, and by the way, everyone think this area I belong to the 46th district, but since I grew up in this area kind of belong to the area, because most of the folks from Seaview Village, from the Alps, from Canarsie part, always come around here. And whenever a gun violence or a child, one kill another one, as a mom of four, grew up in this community, it's dear to my heart. And it is sad that we gonna continue talking about different issues that are happening in the community. But I'm here not advocating, not trying to justify, but the budget that we passed, believe it or not, we not the one that doing the $101 billion. We're part of the $101 billion, but yet the city level, we have some key area that we want actually to address. So many of us are mothers, and most of the money that we allocated is places where we know programs are needed. And one of the things that I said all the time, crime issue don't occur in silo. It's a culmination of different issues in our community, and I'm in agreement with Council Member Barron. It is a housing issue. It is not lack of programs in our community. It's our education. But some of the funding that we allocated to address the inequities in our community. We know for sure in our community there's a lot of non-activity. Our children don't have no programs. They don't have opportunity. They don't have real skill going on. And those are the ones that we're trying to address in our community. Do we have a perfect budget? I'm gonna be here. I'll be the first one to tell you, no, it's not perfect, but it's a step toward perfection for our community. We know that back in the days, we always have problems. We waited for the pandemic to highlight problems for us. We know the gun coming in our community. We don't have a manufacturer in our community. We know the guns are coming from elsewhere. So we want to stop that. We want to fight that. And we want the federal level to do their part, the state to do their part. We can argue back and forth. Post-pandemic, we know it's a problem in our hand, but we need everyone, not trying to fight one another, but put our resources together and make sure we put our things, our dollar where our mouth is, and make sure that our kids have things to do for the summer. And I'm in agreement with Councilman Barron. When the sun is out, the guns are out. So we want to encourage everyone that serves whatever organization. We make sure that we put money, allocate funding to resources, to the place, to organizations that are doing the work in the community. Cultural competency is very important to us. We want to make sure that folks that are serving the community understand what kind of program that we need in our community. Yes, we don't have a perfect budget, but we want cure violence in our community. That one, believe it or not, not all city council member. We need the mayor to play his part, definitely to play his part, because we want to cure violence in our community. There is no reason for our children to kill each other every time we turn around. We know the inequity force those things in our community. So as a council member, I've been out here. I'm standing at the corner with Monique Chandler Waterman. We're always on time. Now the assemblywoman, Monique Chandler Waterman, she's been fighting on the ground. And that's one of the things that encouraged me to support leaders like herself, to make sure that we address together. We know the problem. We understand the problem. We live the problem. When a gun moves, like we said, there's no name, there is no name, there is no gender, there's no sex, nothing on the bullet. The bullet can go anywhere, and we know that. We're not exempt. If we think we're exempt, we're in a dream. This is our city. This is our community. We need to fight together to address the issues. It is time for us to open our eyes to know that 100,000 we're talking about, that's a start. Yes, it's not perfect, but it's a start. This is the first time ever we have the 100,000 jobs available. And we're looking forward not to make it only for the summer, but around the years, because we know some parents having a struggle to pay their rent, to buy food. That's the reason I'm on the street every Monday to address food inequities. It is real. We know it's real, but there is no need. Like we said, we need much more from this budget to come to our community. But we as a city council members, we fought every day. We work 7 days a week in that BNT we heard about for Friday to come to understanding. And we're still working toward a more perfect budget, but for now, this is what we're working on, but we're gonna push every day. My job is to push for my community. I live in the district. I understand my district. I'm here every day. And right now, I feel so sad because it becomes like a norm. This is not normal for us. No one wants crimes in that district. We don't want that. And we're not gonna have that. But we need to spend time, energy to where we're supposed to spend it. Going to where the crimes are happening. That's what we've been doing. And make sure that we have cure violence. And I think the media that for coming out on Sunday to make sure this is not a norm. It's not acceptable to have children killing children. No community, no mothers, no fathers want their kids to die so early. Under 20, most of them. This is hard for me to even have the conversation. And this is not a show for me. This is real. When our parents call me that I lost my child to gun violence, it's every day. This is not normal. And we are people that want peace in our community. So anyone that knows who killed anyone in our community, this is not a snitch thing anymore. This is not normal. Let's speak. Let's talk about it and make sure we bring the solution. So I thank you, everyone. I thank you, Jabril, for bringing this out. This is very painful for me. I don't even know what to say anymore. It's just I become like we're justifying our lives on this planet. This is wrong. This is wrong. It's just like Dr. King said, you don't have no boots in your feet and they ask you to get the lace to bring yourself up. How are you gonna bring yourself up when you're bootless? So this is hard. We need to invest in the community. And I'm in agreement with Council Member. Yes, Council Member Barron. We need to do much more. This is my first time in our budget and negotiation. And I see what we have to do. We spend nights to fight to bring things. And it's never going to be enough. But I want the mayor to play his part to make sure we address the inequities in our community and the federal level and the state level. So thank you so much. God bless you all.
Cure violence now! 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 Thank you so much, Councilmember Mercedes Narcisse. saying yes, Councilmember has been out here before she was even on in. She's been out here pushing for us to get a cure violence sign. We thank you for your leadership, Councilmember. Thank you so much. Before we bring up our new Assembly Member Monique Chandler Waterman, just want to make note of something I seen. Someone just picked up a sign and he read it, and it said, with a confused face. Yes. That is all tied. That's what the Councilmember Barron said. That's what Councilmember Mercedes Narcisse says. Getting the cure violence side is not enough. Don't get us mistaken. We also need to fund nature. We also need to fund education. There's a lot of things we have to do in addition to the cure violence side. So this is the floor. So when folks come up here and see fund nature, because it's all tied together. Yes. The young brother that we just lost on Friday lived in Brookline houses, or he was hanging out by Brookline houses. And we need to fund NYCHA, we need to fund that community, we need to make sure we give folks productive ways to go about their day. Next, I want to bring up our new Assembly Member, Monique Chandler Waterman. Give it up.
I want to say thank you to Jabril for organizing, but I'm sad that he has to organize something like this. My name is Assemblywoman Monique Chandler Waterman, covering District 58, covering East Flatbush, Canarsie, Brownsville, and a little bit of Crown Heights. It used to be held by former Assembly Member Nick Perry. And I am a mother of 4 beautiful children, and it scares me every day. When I had my first child, when I was 20 years old, she's 20 today, I knew I had to do what I can for our community to make sure they're safe. I couldn't just worry about my household, because if my household is safe, my kids still have to go outside of school. They still got to go to the store. So I figure if I help organize the community, organize the Block Association, I started a 24-hour daycare. I founded a nonprofit organization that deals with reducing gun violence, and I was part of the Cure Violence Crisis Management. Never was enough funding. I figured if I did those things, I could justify bringing children into this world of so much crime and so much defeat. I felt better by being part of the solution rather than being part of the problem. And that's why I'm here today as your Assemblywoman. I thank the community for giving me this platform and for making sure that they believe in the vision and mission here. But we gotta do more. It's a fundamental thing that we need to do. Number 1, the leadership has failed us. We have failed as leaders in this community. It's a federal thing, it's a state thing, it's a city thing. We all have to work together. When there's vision among leaders, anyone can creep in and do what they do. We can't have the streets together if the leadership is not together. So we need like-minded people in leadership to bring it together. And I'm sure we're here today to make sure that happens. Right, City Council members? We're gonna work together. We need to have wraparound services. If I don't know where I'm gonna lay my head at night because I can't afford rent or my mortgage, how can I function as a human being? If there's no equity in education, how can I function? The trigger is pulled when we don't have adequate education. The trigger is pulled when we don't have affordable housing, true income targeted affordable housing. The trigger is pulled way before the trigger is pulled. Why are we surprised when it's physically pulled? We have to have the resources up front to prevent gun violence. And of course we need to get the guns off the streets. Of course we need more programs. Every school should be open up to 10 o'clock at night. We have pools, we have basketball programs. They should be going to any school building. Those are community centers. While we waiting for community centers to be built, we have underutilized buildings that we could be using. So we all gotta come together and improve. We're not gonna judge who's doing what. We need to all come to the table. And it's not about who we like. We have one purpose as elected officials, one purpose as leaders, to serve the people. The power is in the people. And I was walking, when I was talking to some people in the community, some young men, they said we have a voice, but we need a mic. And he said, you as an elected official could give us that mic to amplify our voices. And that's why we stand today as leaders. We promise to do better. We gotta do better because we're losing our future doctors. We're losing our future lawyers. Our grandparents are burying their grandkids. That's not the national course of action. So we have no choice. We gotta do things. We gotta vote. We need to be civically engaging because our life depends on us doing better. So I'm here today as your Assemblywoman Monique Chandler Waterman, but that's just a title that we only one person on the ballot. But we're here for you, for the community. And if the community members feel that the leadership is not doing what they're supposed to do, guess what? You have the right, you have the voice, and you vote out that's not working for you. So I'm here to advocate for fully funded care bonus programs, for fully funded education, for fully funded everything that we need to make sure we're more productive as community members. So there's some crisis going on over here. So we're going to figure it out. All right, thank you so much, Jabril. Thank you to the organizer. Thank you for everybody here today.
Thank you so much, Assemblywoman. As you can see, our community is in crisis. Every couple minutes, there's sirens going off. Our community is in crisis. We need to cure the violence. That's why we're out here calling for a cure violence site. We have a couple more speakers and then we're going to move to rap. Next, I want to bring up from Canarsie Development to share a few words. Thank you.
Thank you. Peace, 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 peace. I stand before you on behalf of our Executive Director and founder, Kay Bain, and everything that everybody said echoes the sentiment of the community. What we have here is a fundamental flawed issue, and we understand that. The budget is a reflection of values. What you fund is what you care about. And we understand going forward that the new national attention is on gun violence. It's on gun reform. Our community has been suffering from this epidemic of gun violence. And like the councilwoman said, like the assemblyperson said, we've already seen what works. We understand that if we fund education, what happens? If we give our young people access to equity, and when we say equity, we mean opportunities, we mean meaningful employment, we mean an opportunity to grow and develop. That model is not just cure violence, but cure violence is one step. The second part of that is when we say human justice. And when we say that, everybody gets confused. They're like, what is human justice? Human justice is understanding that as a black person and a brown person in this community, my people who I elect represent my thoughts and my actions. My housing conditions should look the same here as they look in Manhattan. There should be no discrepancy in what I have access to if I do the things that I'm supposed to do, if I pay my taxes, if I show up, if I'm in attendance. I should have the same access to everything. We have done so much with so little, and that stops now. So I'm so proud of the leadership that steps up and comes out on a Sunday and makes it be known that this is not normal. We are performing acts of cannibalism. Every act against a black person, every time we see another black person kill a black person, that is legacy being lost, that is history being destroyed, and that is us showing us that we do not love each other. Where does that come from? A situation of conditions. Like the woman said before me, like the simple woman said before me, if my housing condition is terrible, how can I function? If my education is not at the top level, how can I learn? Everything is teaching me that I am worthless. So how can I value life if I don't feel valued myself? And that is what we are seeing. We are seeing young people who do not have value in themselves because everything around them doesn't love them. So we stand up here together seeing human justice as an act of love, but it's a focus that's saying that we deserve more, we demand more, and we will unite to get more. We will not stop fighting. We will not stop showing up. We will not be quiet, and we will not just wait with our hands out. We will go to every place that we have to, knock on every door that we must, and demand our equity, demand our opportunity. Too many of us. I'm a first-generation American Haitian. My mother came into this country with an opportunity and a thought that I would be the best version of myself here. America did not give her that chance, but she gave me that chance. So I stand in front of you as a Haitian, proud to be that. Understanding that everything that she sacrificed is a goal. It is a goal towards we get my equity, an opportunity to have everything. And I say this to all my brothers and sisters who might see this. I understand everything that's happening around you, everything that is telling you that your actions is status quo, everything is normal. No, you are so much better. You have so much more to offer. And I promise you that your leadership here believes in you. Your community does love you. And I'm asking you, if you see anybody with a Cure Violence or a CMS, if you see CCD, we are in Canarsie and Bayview houses, please step to us. We are here to talk. We are here to listen. But most important, we are here to help you become the brightest version of yourself. Human justice says, human justice plus human rights equals human development. That is the motto. Human rights plus human development equals human justice, and we are here to give you that. So I won't take up too much of your time, but we have to understand that every issue here is important. Funding our housing conditions that most of us live in is important. Funding our education is a fundamental step in growing our community. That is important. Community activities are important, but community safety is the most important. People should be safe outside. Old people should be safe outside. Young people should be playing outside. We should not be living in a war zone. There is too much out here for us to feel like we have to kill each other. So, to end on a positive note, Cornel West once said, if you do not love the people, you cannot serve the people. Amen. Everybody here loves the people, and that's why they serve the people. Our executive director, K-Bay, taught me that what we see here is a condition, and the condition can only be solved if you go to the people. So here is the people from every walk of life, standing here in front of everybody, begging, pleading to come together and to reach out to organizations that are rallying to speak on your behalf, to speak on the behalf of the broke, to speak on the behalf of the working class, to speak on the behalf of those who do not feel like they have a place. Your leadership is here, and they love you, and they are here to serve. My name is Demetrius Emilian, and I represent Community Capacity Development. And on behalf of my Executive Director, Kay Bain, I want to say thank everybody here. Peace.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Demetrius touched on something I want to expand on right before we go to our last speakers. We have a love for the people. The reason why we did it out here, one of the busiest intersections in Canarsie, is that if you stop people and you ask them what happened on Friday, they'll look at you dumbfounded. We have normalized, society has normalized gun violence in these communities. If someone was murdered on 42nd Street, you stop 10 people walking by, much more than will know that someone being shot 5 blocks away from here. And we have to ask why. Next, I want to bring up Bar's son, a leader in Brookline, where we lost a young man. He's been working on these issues for over 10 years. I was in high school. He's been working on these issues. Come on up, brother.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Bar's son, Harris, B-A-R-S-U-N, Harris, from Brookline Rise Organization. Rise acronym, it means Reaching Independence for Self-Empowerment. I work with an organization, nonprofit community-based organization that's situated in the Brookline houses. I was born and raised in the Brookline houses. I went to neighborhood schools, IS 211, Canarsie, down the block, here 260, Williams Avenue. So if anything, we really have our finger on the pulse of the community. One thing we're crystal clear, unfortunately, is I'm not surprised that young Isaiah Bowman was murdered Friday night. It's unfortunate, but I'm not surprised. But when you take a people and put them in substandard housing, you leave them with repairs that need to be done. You impact their economic situation. You have unemployment running rampant. You have a proliferation of liquor stores instead of health food stores. And this is what you get. And Like Brother Jabril said, you cannot arrest your way out of these conditions. You know, we have been designated. We finally earned the designation of being a precinct that gets the safety now. But we have not been designated as a police precinct to get improved services. So we can arrest you, but we can't improve the conditions that you're experiencing. We're feeding this multi-billion-dollar industry called the prison industrial complex. And it's definitely our zip code that's feeding it. It's by design. So I'm not surprised that young brother Isaiah was murdered. I'm not surprised that Esley Portius was murdered. I'm not surprised. You know, I can run off names that brothers that have been murdered these past few years. It's sad. It's sad. And what's sadder is I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at the secondary trauma. Yesterday, what you're not hearing about is yesterday that there was another shooting. There were no victims. There were no direct victims. But those young people that I was with in the community center were victimized by that shooting as well. They were scared. We had to go on lockdown. We had to go into lockdown mode. They looked their eyes, when they heard the shots, their eyes shot straight to me, looking to see what my response was gonna be. You know, the people that were out there when Isaiah was murdered, they're victims too. The secondary trauma that goes untreated, it festers, and it desensitizes you. So we just don't need cure violence. We need properly funded cure violence programs. We need properly funded prevention programs. We have a community center out here right down the block. When you leave, just make this left and go 3 blocks down. It hasn't got a new screw since the Truman administration, 1954. Haven't got a new screw. While other zip codes, they got palatial digs, they have multi-level community centers, they have beautiful programs. Some places have been done 2 and 3 times over, multiple times. We have a 1 level with a basement, 1 multi-purpose room, 2 classrooms in the back, no smart boards, no industrial kitchens, nothing to do any viable program. And if there's 2 things going on at the same time, one of them can't exist. So we don't even have to go, there's 1,595 apartments in that development. 6,000 total residents, 3,200 who are adolescents. 3,200 young people is supposed to be serviced in a community center that has the capacity of 150? It's impossible. It's mathematically impossible. So I'm not surprised. I ain't surprised. I'm not surprised because that's what that mathematics equals. It equals despair, it equals oppression, it equals incarceration of a people. So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. But we need to be fully, it baffles me. Our council member just spoke about how the police department is funded, but the data on arrests has increased. Any corporation who is not getting results, never mind defund, they would not continue to pour funds into that industry. Any corporation, that's poor management. That's a poor executive decision to continue to pour money who's not moving the data. We know how to move the data. We got something figured out. We've worked with individuals who are active. We've worked with young people who are connected to active families. And we've improved the data with them. With the bare bones minimum we got. You know, so there's some things we got to look at. And it ain't just pouring money into insanity. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, expecting different results. And that's what we have an insane approach. We have clearly an insane approach to this issue that's going on in our community. Thank you.
much for that history lesson. We have 2 more speakers and then we're going to wrap up. Next, I want to bring up the Executive Director of Canarsie Rockaway Parkway Merchants Corridor. And at this point as she speaks, just a few months ago, we lost a young brother right in that corner over there. All right, please.